he is saying, in no uncertain terms, humans are always in charge of everything. He is saying the anarchist slogan, no gods, no masters, right? He is saying that humans are the ultimate arbiter. And I have to say, I think that is where I have to disagree with Grabgrub. And not to say that like a specific God exists. Rather to say that the concept of God is inextricable from human social structures. That is what I am saying. And that, while he's describing, I think, a real evolution here and a real loss of human agency that we gave up a long time ago, he imagines that that world was not also ruled over by gods, by God, that it was instead made by man, self-consciously made by man. And I would say, no, it was not. I've spoke before about how reality is structured as a dialogue, but not a dialogue between people, a dialogue between people and the natural world. But the thing about that dialogue is it has to be mediated. And the thing that mediates that trialogue is an alienated power that encompasses all of them, but is separate from them. There was a God in the decisions there was God in the room when they made the decision to avoid agriculture. What happened is somebody took over God, somebody hijacked God and remade it probably under conditions of ecological stress. See, somebody says it was the enchanted world. No, we are still in an enchanted world. There is still a God. There will always be a God. Anarchists want to overthrow God and replace him with themselves individually, collectively. That's what we already have. The market exists to mediate that reality. We have to overthrow God, change God, change gods, switch gods. And that, to me, is the fundamental fracture. Because anarchists think you can just change people's behavior and that they'll just change everything. No, people's behavior will change because their understandings of what to pursue change. Understandings of what good and bad are. And those all are always tacking off of a concept of God. They're not they might be spoken of in an internal language, but they can only be validated by reference to those around them and to this perspective, all-encompassing but separate perspective. And anarchists think that that can be just overturned and left, and that throne left vacant. No. Has to be recreated. And so that, I think, is where all of the tactical disagreements come from. Because if you make these assumptions that that's how deep things have to change in order to allow for, not for the creation overnight of utopia, but for allow utopia to be a livable reality. And it has to, for us to continue investing our effort into a social project that might not be to our most narrow self-interest. We have to surrender some of our idea of what our good is to a collective concept. And we have to create structures that reproduce that feeling. And anarchism is all about preventing that from ever happening. No, those are states. Those are state forms. Those are domination regimes. No, they are the necessary symbolic and structural extensions of a collective belief that has to be reinscribed daily and momently. Somebody says, was anarchism a psyop? Anarchism doesn't have to be a psyop because it's deep, it already accepts capitalism's premise, which is that there is no God and that you're God. It thinks that means something else, though. Anarchists think, no, there is some world where we can all be individuals together and share. Nope, there isn't. Never was, never can be. You can get together and live and share and create a utopian horizon, like a project, but it will be under the auspices of some sort of transcendent power, concept that is collectively believed in. Sorry, not negotiable. And the reason they fear that and are horrified by it because they can only imagine it being imposed from above. But it's not. It's built from below. And you can participate in the building of the thing so that you're not alienated from it. But that requires a sacrifice of short-term libidinal satisfaction, which anarchists cannot accept, which is why they fetishize direct action. That's why in the 1800s they couldn't stop shooting politicians. Because it felt good. And they do like black bloc stuff because it feels good. They decide that getting people fired from Taco Bell for having a Confederate flag on their Facebook page is the same as punching people in the face because it feels good. That is why they don't need to be psyops. Their interests below what their political concepts are aligned with capitalism, which is based on short-term pleasure seeking. Yes, anarchism, the dream these people have, is a reality, but not for us. It is a reality beyond our social frontier that will exist after a process, a social process that will extend far beyond our deaths. We're all Moses, man. That's the whole point of Moses, is everybody is Moses. When things are, the fit is hitting the shan, the thing that emerges will be after and incorporate you, but you cannot experience it. And accepting that is part of being a centered and mature person who can clearly see what's in front of them and make decisions based on that. And it's the same thing that you need to do on your own level. You need to understand you're personally not going to get to see everything. You're going to die. Your window on the world, which is everything, will extinguish, but everything will keep going, and you will be part of it. You will always be part of it. Every part of you that you actually value will be part of it. Everything bad, too. It will all be processed and reformed and reborn in different combinations as the dialectical process grinds through the matter and time of the universe. And with that in your heart, you can look at political questions, and instead of making doctrinaire proclamations about what to do, you can listen to your goddamn heart. Cheesy and as dumb as that is, listen to your heart. As the song by, was it Pat Benatar, goes.